Tuia te hono, whiria te hono. Te hono ki a wai, te hono ki ngā whānau, ki ngā hāpori e whakarongo mai nei. Ko tana porākina tēnei, tēnā rā koutou katoa. Firstly, welcome everyone to the NIB and PreKure Metabolic Health webinar. My name is Tana Porakina and I am part of the team at NIB. Sharing the space with me will be Jared Cannons, Health Coach at PreKure. Jared will be driving our topic of discussion today. NIB have partnered with PreKure to bring you this webinar, and the aim of it is to help educate whānau around the importance of nutrition and its relationship with your metabolic health. Throughout this webinar, Jared will share practical advice and tips that will help to improve your wellbeing and quality of life. If you want support with any of the issues Jared will be discussing tonight, our diabetes care program can help. Coaches like Jared will help guide you to simple lifestyle changes to improve your hauora. At the end of this presentation, we will have time for questions and answers. If you have any burning questions that you'd like to ask, please pop these in the chat box below and we'll be sure to answer these at the end of the presentation. We're going to start tonight's session with a short video. This video tells Katrina's healthcare story and highlights some of the support available through your NIB health insurance. It talks about how wellness coaches can help support you in any aspect of your hauora journey.
Kia ora, my name is Katrina Allen. I've been with NIB for 4 years. Up at the public hospital, they were treating me for seizures, and it was just so happened that they found an aneurysm on my brain. I was quite overwhelmed. I didn't know what the next steps were. I reached out to NIB's Kaiarahi team for support. I spoke to Rawenia on the phone, and then she said, we have wellness coaches that will help you. And so she referred me to Rebecca. And Rebecca was wonderful. She's definitely helped me out emotionally. She's been really knowledgeable. She's guided me through just the whole experience with my health.
Kia ora koutou. I'm Rebecca, Wellness Coach at NIB. NIB Wellness Coaches are qualified healthcare professionals who are here to help tautoko you on your healthcare journey. We provide you with personal, ongoing support to help you look after your health and to help you recover faster from your treatments. I supported Katrina with things like helping her find a GP that was in walking distance from home, helping her to arrange her first appointment, all the way through to having a conversation with the GP about what her goals were and helped her understand her treatment plan.
We did a Zoom call and she just did step by step, showed me what I needed to do, where I needed to go. Yeah, I would not have done it without her. The two people that helped me through my health journey was Rebecca and Rawenia. It made me feel empowered, actually. It also made me feel safe. Definitely whānau, if you need some help, reach out to Kaiarahi. They will make your life so much easier. You can relax, you can focus on getting well. You can focus on your goals.
At NIB, we have a range of health management programs available to eligible iwi members, so get in touch with our Kaiarahi team to find out more.
As a health coach, what I do is I walk alongside whānau members, one-on-one or in groups. We talk about and discuss what health concerns whānau are dealing with. And then from there, what we do is we formulate a plan that can support them in improving their health outcomes. Some of the things that we do will be attend GP visits with you. If you're struggling to ask the right questions with your GP, you can ask your health coach to come along and support you in that space, or help you with a list of questions to ask your GP. We also can support you in the different types of kai that can support changing your health outcomes, whether it be a ketogenic way of eating, an LCHF way of eating, even carnivore is a form of medicine as well. We can show you how they work. We can also show you the support that it needs for whānau to do it with you, and how that outcome is going to have massive gains for everybody. Through this process, you will be able to learn not just about the kai, but how also adding things in your life, such as quality of sleep and so on. So we've got the slide up on the screen. So first of all, what does metabolic even mean? So metabolic leads into metabolism. Many of you might have heard of the word metabolism. So this is an organism that produces energy and basic materials to help your everyday life functions. So to move on from that, we'll keep going. So when we talk about metabolic, one of the problems that we have is metabolic syndrome, and this is a broad word that sort of elaborates on a lot of the things that we're dealing with in our own personal life. I'll name off a few and they'll probably relate to you in some way, which you'll understand where we're coming from with the metabolic syndrome. So things like type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, so hypertension. We talk about obesity, so just weight around the midsection. Chronic inflammation, just always sore around the joints, the shoulders, the lower back, the knees. Non-alcoholic fatty liver, this also is a part of the metabolic syndrome. We also have things like cancer, different types of cancer. These two are metabolic health issues. Then we go up into neurological issues like Parkinson's and so on. The dementia, depression, anxiety also can get pushed into this space as well. Osteoarthritis is another form of metabolic syndrome. So moving on into this slide that you see with the gingerbread, it just shows you a broad range of all the different illnesses, and these all relate to metabolic syndrome. So outcome of insulin overload, prolonged high insulin is directly implicated, and this is with good science as well, in damage to almost every organ and system in the body. Insulin resistance. Do we know what insulin is? Am I going down this path? So early signs of insulin resistance can be things like weight around the middle, poor quality of sleep, hormonal irregularities or hormone imbalance, which affects our food choices, decision making, brain fog, and simple things like stress. So as you can see, there is a cycle there too. So we've got eat food, and then we make insulin, and then from there, the insulin, when it's making that, will try and push that food into the cells, or our food is turned into glucose, and then that glucose has got to go into the cell. So insulin is trying to drive it into the cell. When it's overloaded, it shuts off, and then you're still creating insulin. This is going to create inflammation in the body and raise our blood sugars. It'll store the sugar as fat and so on. And when we can't store it any further around these areas, then it starts getting stored into areas like the organs, which is not a place to store fat. From there, we go to feeling tired. After a good meal, you feel tired and you can sit back and relax. But not long after, especially when you're eating a high carb or high ultra processed diet, you get hungry again and you want to eat. And then we do the cycle again. So this is a cause of insulin resistance. So what can my whānau and I make to improve metabolic health? So this is a really good question. So what we've got is some really simple po that you can add to your lifestyle. They're very simple and everyone can do it, and majority of them are free. So number one would be master your sleep. So sleeping should just be sleeping. So we shouldn't be doing any digestive processes or do anything else bar sleep. We actually lose a lot or burn a lot of our best body fat when we sleep, as long as we're getting good quality sleep. So how can we do this? So we have to look at things, commit to a sleep routine. What does that look like? So regular bedtime, wake up time, 7 days a week, because we can do it Monday to Friday most times, but then on the weekends it gets blown out because we're out socializing and so on. But if you can do it for 7 days a week, you can actually create a really good sleep routine. Little things that you can do to help improve it are journaling. So journal what you're doing and keep that journal close to the bed. This is also good to do before you go to bed because it helps with that process of winding down, deloading, writing all your information down on your journal, and then going to bed. Cold showers are really good. It's proven that the body reduces its body temperature when you go to sleep. So by having a cold shower, you induce reducing your core temperature. So it's really nice when you get into a nice bed after a cold shower, your body relaxes and you actually sleep a lot easier. Environment. So our bedroom environment is really important. So things like darkening the room, dimming the lights, just stuff to change the mood to really get you into that set of getting ready to have a really good quality sleep. A big one, and it's the same for a lot of us, is removing devices from the bedroom. It's pretty hard. Some of us have TVs in the room, we have our tablets, and then we've got our phones. And sometimes just before bed, we're scrolling, we're on social media and so on, watching movies, right up towards the deadline to go to bed. So the idea is to try and reduce all these at least an hour or so before you go to bed, so that your body and your mind is not so stimulated, it comes down and you can go to bed quite easily. Commit to that sleep time. So a big one is if you're going to bed at 10 o'clock, try and make 10 p.m. every night. One thing that can really complement that too is by finishing your meal 3 hours before that bedtime. So if you're going to bed at 10, try and finish your dinner by 7 p.m. This gives 3 hours to complete the whole digestive process. And then from there, you can go to sleep, and that's all you're going to do. Your hormones are going to balance, your body's going to feel better for it, you're going to feel rested and relaxed. And if you're getting up at 7, you've created 9 hours of good quality sleep. 6 o'clock is still 8 hours of good quality sleep. 5 o'clock is still 7 hours of good quality sleep. So something to consider. Master your breathing. So breathing is really important. If we don't breathe, we're dead, right? So tips for this is really important. So there's heaps out there. So we have things like Māori meditation, we have Wim Hof, we have mindfulness. These things are all available on YouTube, on social media, and a lot of other devices have access to these. So, get in and school yourself up on them. Breathing apps. So there's an app called Calm, for example, Manava Health, and Aio. That's the Orokoro Māori meditation app. So these are free as well. So, download these apps and have a play with them and practice your breathing. Breathing's really super important. It can control that fight or flight, that parasympathetic nervous system. Breathing is going to actually really support that. There's books, get books. So before you go to bed, get a really good quality book that supports breathing by reading Oxygen Advantage by Patrick McEwen. There's Breathe by James Nestor, and then you also have a Wim Hof book. These three are really, really great books, and they offer heaps of great ideas to support different styles of breathing to support your hauora journey. Free mindfulness classes in the community are another option. There's a lot in the community you can get for free. Check out your local marae, your libraries. There's groups out there that are doing all these things at parks, all over. The museum, there's a lot going on. You can utilize all these spaces to actually get in there and do this for free. Exercise daily. Exercise is proven to help regulate blood sugars. It's also proven to help, if you're doing it earlier in the day, it helps provide a better quality of sleep. So get out there and do some movement. Tips on that are just get out and start walking. So go for a 15-minute walk down the road, and 15 minutes back you've just done 30 minutes of walking. You can make it functional as well, so cleaning the house, mowing the lawn. These are exercises that you're doing without having to try, because you're actually cleaning the house. It's something you probably can do and take advantage of. So also things like going to the park with the kids, these are really important. Get on the jungle gym with the kids, run around with the kids. It's quite exhausting, but it is a form of exercise and a form of movement. You'll be surprised at what you can do as well. Make it fun with the kids, challenge them to some pull-ups on the pull-up bar or push-ups. Have a go at all of these things. The kids will love it just as much as you. You can, if you're in your work office space and you're sitting for long periods of the time, get out of your chair, stand up, do 10 air squats. Do that every hour. You do that for 8 hours, you've done 80 air squats. Easy movements. There's gyms, group activities. These are all great ways to connect with others as well. So there are heaps of free fitness groups around Auckland as well. Look them up on Facebook or internet and just have a go. It helps us maintain accountability, and it's always nice to work out with someone. The other one is go to the beach. You could go to the beach, the local community pools, do some aqua walking, aqua jogging. You could do aqua fitness. You can also do just your normal swimming, do some laps, those kind of things. Great movement. Get out in the bush, do some hiking. There's great spots to do hiking around Tamaki. What sports or activities did you used to play that you really loved? Can you revisit that again? Can you get involved in that space? Have a look at that. Those are the things that, when we look back in our younger days that we were healthy, running around, why can't we do it now? Make the time to invest in that, and it's something that we enjoy doing, not just watching. There's kapahaka, there's poi, there's wakaama, there's heaps of options. There's so many things that you can do, and it's available to all ages. So something to think about. Reduce stress. This is a big one because all of our environments can cause some form of stress, whether it be work, kids at home, whānau members, neighbours. It can be a lot of things. So this is something that we really need to get in check, and sometimes some things that we can do to really help this would be breathing, meditation, taking time for you, having that quiet space, getting out and getting some quality sunlight, fresh air, spend time with loved ones, get in the garden, do a herb garden at home, get your hands dirty. These kind of things are actually a way of de-stressing. Share the load, whether it be at work or home, communicate it with the whānau, let them know that you need help, you need time, and feel free to just let everyone help you. Be honest with yourself and prioritize health and your loved ones. If you prioritize yourself and your health, everyone else is going to get a better you. Finally, the last po is kai. Kai is a big one for us. I've got a few points there. I'll go through them. We have the SAD, which is a standard Aotearoa diet, which is, we're eating breakfast, lunch, dinner, and we're snacking and we're drinking sugary drinks. The sizes of our portions are massive. We're going for dinner more regularly than we are just sitting at home and talking with whānau around the table and having dinner. We're having KFC, Macca's, bakery foods. And this is really because we feel we don't have the time to do this, and we're not making the time to do this. So these are things that are really important to consider. Budget constraints is a big one for whānau. It's really big. There are heaps of options out there that we can support, bulk buying as whānau, so involving more whānau, and making our buck go further by buying bulk. So these things can be done. It just has to be thought out and then actioned. Sweet drinks, this is a big one for a lot of us. Condiments and sweet drinks. Sauces, they're full of sugar. Sweet drinks, full of sugar. These things really, really play a big part in our metabolic health. So when we're eating and drinking sugars, our body's not having a chance to recover. We're eating high sugar meals that really don't support our lifestyle either. So some of the things that we can do to help reduce this is planning. So sitting down with the whānau and planning out a full week of eating, what dinner should look like. There's things like slow cookers that you can put on in the morning and they can be ready at home in the afternoon when you get in. It's going to create time as well. all you have to do is prepare your veggies and whatever you got in the slow cooker and serve up, and that's how easy it can be. It's a nice time to teach as well when we are doing cooking at home. It's to teach our tamariki and that to also cook what we cook and how we cook, making time for that. When we are going to the shop, things as simple as walking the outer aisles. Don't get fooled by the great sales as you walk in. You know, make a shopping list and stick to the list. Walk in the aisles, go on the outer ones. You got produce, you got your meats, you got your dairy, you got your frozen goods. And the inner aisles are just a few of the things like, you know, your toiletry needs and so on. That's all we should be going in those inner aisles for. So really stick to that shopping list and be really, really strict with yourself in that space. If you find that you have weakness and you can't do that, consider shopping online and having it delivered. That takes away a lot of the fuss and creates more time for you again. So this is something that can be added into your lifestyle. With the kai options, there's different ways of eating as well. So with kai, we have low carb, healthy fats. We have keto. We have whole food, just straight whole food. These things are all going to be far better for your metabolic health in the long run. And what's going to happen in that, you're going to find that your portion sizes will get smaller. You'll stay satiated for longer. You're not going to be hungry. The cravings will reduce. Things will get better. You'll find that your days are just going a lot better and you've created more time again. So these are just photos or examples of fast food options that we have out there. We have, you know, pizza, KFC, takeaways. You know, we have a favorite fish and chip shop, bakeries, and so on. Takeaways don't have to be taken off the table entirely. You know, it's all right to go out and have a good time with whānau and celebrate and treat ourselves. We just have to manage that in a way. So sometimes doing research on menus of restaurants that we might be going to, look at what's in there that's really going to support your health and your outcomes. Be real critical, and when you go in to the restaurant or wherever you're going, stick to what you've planned. They always will have some form of sale. That's where people get caught out. So something to consider is always pre-plan before you go get your treat. Kids will love it. When you are shopping and you're doing takeaways, you know, fish and chips and all these things, treats, these things should be sort of in the sort of treat department, like not every day. We need to teach ourselves to start cooking and preparing our own meals and making time to sit and eat with our whānau. This is going to create a better atmosphere at home. Examples in the photos above, you'll see a great whole meat. Meat can be prepared in so many different ways, and there's so many different qualities of meat, and there can be affordable options. You've got local butchers. There are some whānau go in and they buy a whole beast together, and then they get a home cooked and they separate it, and everyone gets quite a lot from that, and that can be a cheap way or a way of spreading out your finances. Really healthy avocados are a really good source of healthy fats. Most veggies are. So remember, when we are eating whole foods, consider trying to eat those lower starchy veggies. These are your leafy greens, dark greens. Really stick to that green color. Try and reduce the amount or take it out altogether. The high starchy carbs, which are generally your potatoes, taro, kumara, so on. Just for now, they don't have to be forever. Just for now. So when we actually improve our health and we start reducing our medication or getting off medication or reversing our metabolic health issues, then we can start managing these starchy foods or these high carb foods back into our lifestyle in a managed way where our body is doing the work, not the medicine. Seafood, kai moana, another great source of protein, some really good quality nutrients are found in all of our seafood, and we have plenty of it in Aotearoa. You can make quality breakfasts. This kai down in the left corner with the kiwi fruit, this doesn't necessarily need to be a breakfast, lunch, or it can be a breakfast, lunch, or dinner. It doesn't need to just be a breakfast, so it can be a dinner as well. You know, ultimately what we want to do is take away the breakfast, lunch, dinner theme and more around what am I eating when I eat to support my daily outcomes. Okay, so something to think about. We have plenty of low carb options out there. One that's on the screen for you there is a boil up. It's so simple. It's just your meat. And what we've done is, in that picture, you can see that the starchy veggies have been removed, but we still have things like cabbage. You can still have watercress and puha, but you've got broccolis and carrots. You've got onions and different seasonings. So there is plenty of options to add. And then, make sure you drink that juice, because that juice is going to suck up all that nutrient value from the meat and the veggies. So the juices have all the good quality whānau in it as well. So that's something to make sure that you're getting more of. That's going to actually help make you feel more satiated for longer, and it's going to provide you a better lifestyle. When we're fuller, we're a lot happier. On the very right hand side, you'll see different snack options there. So you've got nuts, peanuts, mixed nuts, different options. We have different fruits, nut butters, peanut butter, apples. Consider having the berries. They're lower on the glycemic index. They're very low carb, and they don't actually cause as much spike in regards to blood sugars. Things like boiled eggs, hard-boiled eggs, just have heaps of eggs. Have them any way you want. Scrambled eggs, fried eggs, and cook them in butter. Don't feel bad. We should be doing more of that. Yogurts, there are plenty of yogurts out there. Don't be fooled by them. They're full of sugar. So aim for a Greek yogurt, something that's less sweetened. That's going to be better for you. And to sweeten it, use natural things like berries. It's going to be a lot better for you, and it's going to be a little bit more filling. There are things like cheese and cucumber. Those are really great options, but there's heaps of options when it comes to cutting up carrots, cutting up broccoli, cauliflower, these things. Add a bit of cheese with them to give them a bit of flavour, a bit of salt. These things are really important. Add those flavours to enhance the enjoyment. Coconut flesh is another great source. These things are, amazing, as you see on the screen. So have a look through this. You'll see there's an attachment for low carb meals there. There's heaps of recipes on the page, but if you are looking for more, reach out. There are plenty of low carb groups out there that will provide you with low carb recipes that will support reducing your blood sugars and eventually hoping to reduce your need for medicine to reduce. So what about my GP? So this is really important. It's good to have a good relationship with your GP. So it's good to get in and have regular checkups, get medication reviews, get your bloods done. These things are really good because they give us baselines to work with and a better understanding of what's going on inside us. Things like Manage My Health, you can download this app for free and link it to your clinic that you are with. And from there, you can stay informed with everything going on about your health and just you. You can use other apps also. There's Health 365 and so on. This is going to help track your results and so on. Communicate it with your GP. Ask the question, can I get this? How do I do it? I'm sure they will be happy to help. So those last dot points there, sleep is medicine, breathing is medicine, your exercise is medicine, low stress is medicine, and most of all, your kaya is your medicine. So way less side effects than normal medication as well. So something to think about. So in summary, improve your metabolic health through all these 5 PO that we talked about tonight. So we had sleep, we talked about breathing, we talked about movement, de-stressing, and our kai. And also remember, connect with whānau. NIB has wellness coaches and kaiarahi health navigators. They can work alongside you and your GP so you become the master of your own health.
Ka pai whānau. So we've heard from Jared and the knowledge he's shared around improving your metabolic health. And now we want to hear from you. We've had some pātai come through in our chat box. Pātai number 1 for you, Jared, is: Hi team, what kind of diet is suitable for people with thyroid problems? My partner has an overactive thyroid. She eats twice a day, so semi-fasting but not burning fat.
Yeah, so with thyroid, that's a really good one. I've found with some of the patients that I've worked with, we've gone very, very low carb in regards to thyroid. So have a look at how much carbs you're eating. Look more into what kind of animal fats and proteins that you can do to increase and reduce the total carbs, or where the carbs are coming from, and go more of a zero carb approach if you can. If not, still keep those very, very dark greens there and go for the higher protein fat concept. That's going to be a far better option and hopefully support you in improving that problem.
Ka pai. And secondly, another question this one's around intermittent fasting. So what's your thoughts on intermittent fasting, like 12-12 or 16 hours, 16 to 8 hours split for weight loss?
Yeah, fasting's perfect. It's really great. It has heaps of benefits. So 16 and 8 would be probably one of the best ones going forward. So the idea of that is, say if you started your first meal of the day at midday and you finished your last meal at 8 p.m, then you wouldn't eat again till the next day, till 12 p.m. If you do that for a whole week, what that does is that will allow your insulin to stay flatline for a lot longer, which is allowing it to heal in the long run. In that process too, that's also going to help lower your blood sugars. It's going to help lower hypertension. It's actually going to probably it'll improve a lot of problems within our internal, so inflammation as well. So 16 and 8 is the best, but you've got those other ones. So 12 and 12 is sort of a real easy one to work your way in. Treat it like a muscle too. Fasting is like a muscle group. If you've never done it before, start off with an easy one and then just build into it. So 12, 12, and then you've got 10 and 14, 14 and 10, and then you've got 16 and 8, 18 and 6, and so on, 20 and 4. And the ultimate is the OMAD, which is 23 and 1. So have a go at all of them and see which fits you and see how you go.
Ka pai. Another pātai from our whānau here, Jared. What foods can we use as sweeteners, and is honey okay as a sweetener?
Yeah, so if we have a problem of high blood sugar issues, so if we're diabetic in that, honey is still going to get a response in regards to those blood sugars. So there are other sweeteners out there that won't spike your insulin at all. They're actually zero on the glycemic index. So those are things like, there's products in the shop called Natvia. Natvia is a good one. It's a crossover of stevia and erythritol together. There is you can buy it on its own. If you have a bin in there, you can buy those sweeteners as well. There's a new Natvia brown sugar version as well. That's all good. Those sugars are going to be far beneficial, especially if you're just having one in your coffee. You just add it like normal sugar. It's the same teaspoon for teaspoon. Baking, the exact same. And you'll start to notice that your blood sugar numbers will start to reduce with just that change in sugar. And unfortunately, honey is in that list of it's going to spike your insulin.
All right, so we have room for a few more pātai. Next pātai is, do you recommend any sort of detox before beginning a new haora journey? And if so, any ideas on what kind, i.e. fasting or anything else?
Not really. Like when you start a detox or fasting or anything, it's so super hard. So it can be really just changing the way you eat or just dropping sugar out or something is a great start. It doesn't have to be like a chore, like really difficult. So something to consider is maybe just changing, like have a sugar detox. So cut sugar out for a month, 2 weeks of that, and you'll start to see major changes. Then maybe look at, I'm only going to buy whole foods for a month and get away from all processed foods. Same, it's a great way of starting. So just make a start. You don't need to do any special detox to get into that unless you feel you need to. But a fast is a great way to sort of just clean out and start with the other food. But remember, when you make any changes, there are going to be side effects. So things to look out for will be like irritations, Stupid energy at the wrong times, like when you want to go to bed, you'll get heaps of energy. Things like, irritations, inflammation, discomfort, irritable sleep, lack of energy as well, fatigue, nausea, even constipation or diarrhea. These things all happen when we change what we're doing inside, when we change what we're putting in our mouth. So, just be prepared for those, but just remember, when you're doing something right and you have those problems, they're not red flags, they're green flags that you're doing something right. So, and keep checking in with a health coach if you've got one.
Ka pai. Pātai came through from one of our whānau members asking, I want to add intermittent fasting to my diet. What are your thoughts on prolonging fasting for 3 days? Doing this once a month, do you have any recommendations?
Yeah, that's cool. I do something similar myself. I'll have a 3 to 5 day fast in there maybe every 6 weeks or something. It's just to give myself it's like pressing a reset button. It's allowing your body to just like level out, and it's great for hormone balance and everything. It supports good quality sleep. Just drinking water as well. So, but it can be really hard. So if you find it really hard, get over those 2 days, that 48 hours, and then it gets quite easy. And then your body is going through adaptation as well. So what you're trying to do is go from a sugar burner to a fat burner. So your body is starting to tap. So there's that adaptation process. And then eventually you should start producing a lot more ketones, and your brain is known that the brain loves ketones for fuel, and you'll be functioning on a higher level. It's almost like, fat and ketones are like superpowers. So yeah, have a go at it, test your ability of how far you can go, and then just remember, when you're coming out, go easy back when you're going back into food. Don't just go for this big meal, because it could have a really poor effect on the PreKure. So, remember, because it's changing the gut, and it's attached to the brain, so you're going to affect all these if you eat a really bad food coming out of a fast. So ease into it with a nice lean protein and small meals, really small to start with, and take it easy. Chew it real slow and enjoy it.
Awesome. And lastly, Jared, could having breakfast like up and go do more harm than good?
Yeah, so up and go, it's basically like all cereals. It's full of sugar. Just get some bacon and eggs if you want to get anything in you, or some good quality eggs, omelette, something like that. Some really good quality fats into you. The more you're having like the up and go and those kind of things, they will give you energy, but short-term energy, not long-term sustainable energy. So that's the goal, is to get energy that you can sustain for longer periods and not have to eat all the time. We shouldn't be eating frequently. It should be a lot more spread out. And up and go is not the best option, but you've got to also make decisions based on what supports your lifestyle. So if you're very busy, you have to look at what you can put in place to support that busy lifestyle, to be able to fuel yourself for the day. So yeah, something to think about, but there are better options than up and go.
Awesome, thank you, Jared. And we've got more questions coming in as we go through these pātai, but unfortunately we don't have the time to respond to all of these pātai at the moment, but we will respond to you following this presentation, making sure that your questions are answered. So you would have noticed in the registration to this session, there was an opportunity for NIB members who attend this webinar to go in the draw to win one of 3 smartwatches. Our team will be in touch to deliver these to you, and the 3 lucky winners of our giveaway are Ashley Tekani, Michael Makoare, and Louise Abrams. Congratulations, we'll randomly draw the prizes between you and be in touch with the details to redeem these prizes. Thank you everyone for joining us, and I hope this information was valuable to you. If you have any questions regarding our health management programs, please feel free to contact our wellness coaches at nibclinical@nib.co.nz. Noho ora mai.